did, and with minimal delay and damage, Dave Metcalfe continued with undiminished vigour. By the end of the day, Carlos Sainz had slipped 2 seconds behind Colin McRae, reversing last year's order going into the lakes. But Wales was the ideal place for top Australian rally driver Ross Dunkerton to get the feel for British rallying, so we sent him in search of the VW Beetle.
Well, we're in the hills of mid-Wales, another nice little spot that the Top Gear boys have brought me to. And I thought I was cold yesterday, but the old false teeth have really got the chatter up today. The reason I'm here is to service for the VW Beetle, because a couple of years ago, in fact, a couple of decades ago, I used to compete in them when I was 17 years of age. Same as Richard. So let's go over and we'll give him a hand. Now, how's it going under there, mate?
Well, we're just removing a sump guard so we can check the tightness of the engine mounting bolts.
Coming loose, or what's the story there?
They seem to be working a little bit loose, and, you know, better safe than sorry.
Now, you don't need me under here just at this present stage, do you?
Well, if you're offering off, that'd be great. There's some overalls in the car.
No, I'd rather watch you just at this stage.
Right, okay.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much.
Having a good time?
Oh no, I'm having a brilliant time, yeah. It's really going well.
And the car's going pretty well?
Yeah, it seems to be. We're getting quicker and quicker, so...
And it's got twin carburetors?
Yes, it has. That's legal. That's what the Brazilian cars are made with these days.
Right, oil cooler as well?
Yep. It gets a bit hot without that, so...
Right. So really, it's got all the gear, hasn't it?
Yep, for a Beetle, it's got everything.
So, how's the unit handling? That's probably the big question everybody in Britain's asking.
Well, as you well know, Beetles handle a lot better than people think they do. They're very, very good traction, they brake nicely, they turn well. They're a little bit wild on the back end, but that's very often that's an advantage. You can go sideways and scrub off speed quickly. And Richard is just, particularly in that last stage, he's just beginning to get the idea, and he's going to start picking up speed.
Well, that's pretty good, isn't it? 17 and his first rally.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is we can't let him have his head all together, can we? Because we don't want to end up being...
Like me.
No one would want to do that, would they?
For that other rally debutant, Tiff Needell, the learning curve started with a warning.
It's 150.
Gwyndaff's off ahead of us.
Oh, no. 150.
Co-driver Tina Torner would need to reinforce the message of Gwyndaff's error to curb Tiff's enthusiasm.
100. Caution, left one. Beware here now. Left one. We came between two trees and it was exactly measured for us to pass. But it's good, yeah. I hope we'll slow down a bit now.
Middle of Saturday, it was very, very wet, and the racing tyres which used for Saturday is mainly tarmac. I've just found out that on leaves and in puddles, they understeer into trees and bushes, and we've been very, very lucky, really.
After that, Wales was more enjoyable, although the reseeding overnight meant starting back in 51st place and finding the tracks pretty well cut up.
Right, 580. Left 4, into right, 5 into left 4 over crest. Left 4. And left 4 over crest comes there into right 5 into right 3. Right 3 comes here. And crest 80.
Oh, I enjoyed that, darling. I was getting going a bit there. Very well read. I felt a little bit like a rally driver for the first time.
The beginning of day 3 in the infamous Grisdale Forest in the Lake District. My old stamping ground, incidentally. There are 2 stages here totalling 22 miles. Now, the sort of punishment that gives tyres means that the choice of compound is limited to just 1 or 2. In fact, conditions are very mild, but there's a lot of mud in there, and a deep tread pattern is going to be essential. Earlier, a Ford service crew were preparing tyres for Malcolm Wilson. Michelin can supply 40 different compounds, widths and treads, and although experience indicates the most likely choice, top men Pierre Dupasquier and Jean-Louis Volillon would drive through the stage to confirm the conditions.
I'm far straight long over crest.
But slippy on now.
At the same time, Malcolm's gravel note crew, Robbie Head and Campbell Roy, also drive the stage. Their job is to check the notes Malcolm made the week before for any significant changes.
50. Logs on the medium left. Fast right middle.
An hour later, Malcolm arrives at the service hall for routine car preparation. How do you look forward to this Grizedale stage?
Well, I think it's fair to say that I don't think anybody can really look forward to Grizedale. It's probably one of the most difficult stages on the rally, particularly the second one, sort of 17 miles, and there's nowhere in there with a straight more than 50 metres long.
At the end of the Grizedale stages, the tyre information is relayed back to Ford and the other top teams using Michelin's, so the right tyres can be fitted. Then it's time for Campbell Roy in Coniston to read over the gravel note changes to Malcolm's co-driver, Brian Thomas.
Go ahead with the notes, please.
Okay. Special stage 20, Grizedale East.
Page 46, line 4.
There's logs on the medium left. Page 48. Confirm.
But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Did the revisions help?
Yeah, no problem. At least they got all the tricky bits in, which is the important part.
Did you make the right tyre decision, do you think?
I don't know. It was very, very slippery. To be honest, I found it slipperier than I expected. I think the tyres are okay. I think it was generally just the surface was very, very dry. To be honest, I think these conditions suit the car running with a little bit lower. I'm just glad to get through Grizedale without any real major problems, to be honest.
Well, you've done it anyway.
Cheers.
This was the day when everyone held their breath and hoped that Colin McRae would take on the dreaded Northern Forest and win. But it was not to be. A minor road accident on the way to the start resulted in lost time and a puncture on the first stage. Then on the next, Grizedale West, where disaster struck last year, it happened again. He trailed to the end of the 17-mile stage, and everything became clear as the dejected pair arrived at the next service point.
We lost the front brakes in the stage, and as a result of that, it broke the transmission because we were braking with the rear wheels all the time, and we only had front drive for 17 miles and no brakes.
So it could be said that Grizedale isn't really your favourite forest?
Not at the moment, no.
So, I mean, what will you do now? I mean, you've got 4 minutes, which puts you out of contention for the lead, probably, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if everyone else is going the way they're going, there's no way you can catch up. I mean, we're driving flat out just now, and the times are the same, so, I mean, you can't catch up unless everyone else has a problem.
Step forward Didier Auriol with fastest times on the next 2 stages. While older brother Colin was having a bad day, Alistair McRae was revelling in the conditions in his Group N Sierra and would go on to win the class by a massive 9 minutes. In the first of the border stages, Kirshop, there was drama of a less savoury nature. When delays caused it to be cancelled, the frustration of the spectators tempted a few into foolish action.
We stopped at one junction because I spied some friends of mine from Ireland, and they all sort of swarmed around the car and pulled the master switch off and cut the car out, and so they're not very happy spectators in there.
The slow-speed run had done nothing for Tiff Needell's confidence.
Well, I know, but that 20 miles going slowly has actually made me more worried about what's coming up. It's reminded me of how tough Kielder is, and we're going to be taking it very steady.
But it was further up the field that Kielder would strike. Malcolm Wilson picks up Auriol's car, abandoned by the roadside with engine failure, and that left Sainz going into the final day with a comfortable minute's lead.
Absolute crest long, 50.
On the final morning in Dumfriesshire, Juha Kankkunen had only one option: go like mad and hope Carlos would falter. In the event, it was the other way round. Juha lost 4 minutes when the Dalbeattie mud blocked his screen and he hit a rock. With the pressure off, Carlos Sainz cruised home, while a charging Ari Vatanen held on to second ahead of Kankkunen. Vatanen's teammate Colin McRae came home 6th, equalling his best placing, while Malcolm Wilson set fastest time on the first 3 stages to finish 9th, also his best ever finish. By now, Tiff Needell was getting into the swing of things and was to finish 31st. Not bad for a racing driver.
Crest 150. Crest 50.
Well, I suppose if a racing driver's going to finish the RAC rally, he ought to finish it going through a stupid chicane. I can't believe rally people have chicanes. I really can't. Yo!
Oh, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Woohoo!
Sometimes I think I'll never come back, but really when you finish an event like this, you really fancy coming back maybe and giving it another crack. But it's a very steep learning curve, and I've got a lot of respect now for the rally world. I think I'll go back to going round and round in circles.
But we have had a fun week, definitely. I've enjoyed every minute of it, with a heartbeat, mine.
Love PT.
The Spaniards Carlos Sainz and co-driver Luis Moya a second win in the Lombard RAC Rally. And, just as in 1990, they topped it by winning the World Championship as well, driving their Toyota Celica. Now, how hard has this rally been?
It was really hard because, you know, if you make a mistake, you lose all the championship, not only the rally. And in this rally, it is really very easy to make a mistake. The conditions were very slippery, and it was, for us, it was perfect. The car was working very well, the team as well, and everything was going perfect.
Right, well done Carlos for winning, and well done Tiff Needell for managing to get round all in one piece. Round of applause, everyone. Looks like you got a few fans here, Tiff. Me, I've had a great rally. I went home after the start, turned the central heating up, opened a nice bottle of Chablis and watched it all on TV. It was great.
In next week's Top Gear, prestige motoring from Renault, the new Safran. New models on 2 wheels, the best of the motorcycle show. And sidecar cross, one of the toughest sports around. For more information from Tiff Needell on the Escort Calibra battle, call the Top Gear car line on 0891 335547. And for the chance to win the road-going version of Colin McRae's rally car, call 0891 333 404.
But the most amazing news of all, the splendid Trabant and its crew from eastern Germany had managed to chunt around the 350 miles of rough forest track. The whole team had built up quite a following during the week and were given a hero's welcome back in Chester, the last car to cross the finish line.